Hello, everybody. Welcome to video 3 of CKAD Lab 64. When I finished off part 2 of this lab, I was struggling to put label on the containers. So turns out I was right about before I start even. So I want to tell you that a lab like this is probably, in fact, it is the longest lab that I've ever done for a CKD exam. So um, if you get a questions like this, you want to put it off till the last because you don't want to spend half an hour doing this. And even if you're not able to grasp all the concepts, and if you're not able to, you feel like you're not able to do it, that's okay, because in the exam, you only have to get 66% of the points, and you can get that many points without tackling the most difficult one that's presented to you. So you want to avoid the most difficult and the longest labs till the last. Even if you don't get them, you will pass the exam. However, you should know the little parts of this. So if they give you a lab that has only one or two of these things, that you should be able to do. If you couldn't do that, then you're probably not going to pass the test. All right, so back to the lab. So it turns out I was wrong about one thing. The containers don't have labels, pods do, and the pods definitions go into the template. So let's look. And the problem with that is that the kubectl explain doesn't actually tell you that. So that's something outside the attributes of the pod, because you can change the labels even when the pods are running. So you can use this klabel command to do that. But for us, that's not possible. That's not doable, because we're not going to do this after the fact. That doesn't do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our a YAML file and put it under metadata. And we'll see if that works or not. Let's see. So via.yaml. So under template, which is basically a template for the pods, you see there's by default already there's one. And in our case, they said to put app equals foo. So we will do that. So that takes care of, at least in theory, this particular requirement. Let's move on to the next one. Expose port 6379. So under containers, do we have ports? Yep, we do. So 6379. This came from the example we got from Kubernetes website, so we don't have to do any real work on this. So that's the port. All right. Make sure the pod is running on the first node. Now that has to do with nodeAffinity, which I covered in a couple of times in other labs, but we'll have to do this again. So nodeAffinity is a pod thing. Actually, I don't know. It might be a deployment thing too. So let's look at that. So let's look at kubectl explain on this again. Templates. Let's see template. Let's see what you get. Under template, there's spec. Oh, there's metadata. So I messed that up. Okay, yeah. Metadata is part of template. All right, so spec. And what you're looking for is, a nodeAffinity. All right, so let's see. Do we have nodeAffinity? We might have affinity, and nodeAffinity might be part of that. So let's see, under template, there's affinity. All right, cool. So under template, there's affinity. And I will bet you under affinity, there's nodeAffinity. So I've done this 1,000 times. So I kind of know this part. And I also know from experience that this is a better one to use. So we'll just go with that. And under that, there is a nodeSelectorTerms. That's where you choose your label to match the node, right? So, and then matchExpressions. So this is what we have. But before you go ahead and do this, right, we have to label the node to begin with. So let's label that. K label, let's get the node name, get nodes. And we say, okay, K label this nodes, this one, we would give it foo equals bar. And we'll use this p-value pair when we actually put nodeAffinity in the pod template. So now that's labeled. I ran out of time again. So this is number 3 of Lab 64. And I will see you in video 4 of Lab 64.